fake to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson makes someone miss. Garrett Wilson's loose to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Breece Hall cuts up the middle. Breece Hall's loose. Breece Hall's gone. Breece Hall is gone. He walks into the end zone. Josh Allen fires it over the middle. Intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks off Allen. Sauce Gardner, let's go. The rookie picks off Josh Allen. Win it. Let's go. Oh my God. Drops back to pass. He fires it over the middle. Touchdown. Garrett Wilson. The New York Jets tie the football game. The rookie. The Jets win. The Jets win. Ashton Davis. Ices the game. Let's go. Handle Quinton Williams with the tackle for loss. That's a loss of 5 yards. Josh Allen is going to fire up a bomb. Josh Allen. Sauce Gardner's there for the game winner. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills and improved to 6-3 on the year. Sauce Gardner.
That's how we get run the ball, boy. Yeah.
Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today, let's break down the offseason. Lamar Jackson to the Jets? We'll talk about that. Also, Derek Carr to the Jets? We'll talk about that. And last but not least, we have all of the Jets offensive coordinator candidates to talk about. We got 4 so far that we are confirmed to be interviewing. Robert Saleh is interviewing these 4 offensive candidates, that being Darrell Bevel, Kevin Patullo, Marcus Brady, and Nick Caley. And we're going to break down each and every one of them in today's live stream. So if you guys are just tuning in, guys, do me a gigantic favor and smash the living heck out of the like button. Let's get it started, baby. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. We are coming off a crazy wild card weekend that concludes tonight with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Dallas Cowboys. What was your guys' thoughts of last night, Saturday and Sunday? Man, oh man. The Miami Dolphins game and the Buffalo Bills game was pretty damn crazy. The Dolphins put up a way better fight than I think anybody thought they would. How about those New York Giants? I know we're jealous of them. And then even last night, the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens almost pulling off the upset against the Bengals. And I think the Ravens could have won that game if they had Lamar Jackson. And that's playoff football, man. And how many times have you guys watching those games over the weekend and thinking the same thing I was? Damn, the New York Jets need to be in this wild card weekend. When is that going to happen? Next year is when it's going to freaking happen. How about that? Not to mention the games on Saturday. We saw Brock Purdy dueling it up. Stud, their defense, beasts against Geno Smith and the Seahawks. And then Trevor Lawrence coming back from 27-0 after throwing 4 interceptions. Everyone's counting out Trevor Lawrence, thinking he's a bum in the playoffs. And then he goes out there, throws 4 straight touchdowns, and leads the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 31-3 run to get the win at home to advance to the freaking in the playoffs into the division round. So very interesting weekend of wild card football, but I really want to focus in on the New York Jets in today's live stream. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts of Lamar Jackson, your thoughts of Derek Carr, your thoughts of all the offensive coordinators we're bringing in. What is the most likely scenario that the New York Jets are coming up with this offseason? Because we know that we are going out there to get a new quarterback. We know that we're getting a new offensive coordinator. So the question is, who is it going to be? Is there an option outside of Lamar Jackson and Derek Carr? Yes, of course there is. But I think those are the 2 most favorable candidates, in my opinion, that most Jets fans would be on board with. You know, if we don't get Derek Carr, if we don't get Lamar Jackson, who are the other ones that can be as good? Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sorry. Tom Brady, I don't really think that's possible. I don't know. But then you also look at quarterbacks around the league like Daniel Jones for the Giants. Now, Daniel Jones is in year 5, and he's officially breaking out. And I think that, it goes to show you when you're patient with the quarterback and you give him time to develop, that's what you can become. But also, you got to put a lot of credit into Daniel Jones' coaching staff around him and Brian Daboll, for sure. That is the biggest reason why I think Daniel Jones has took that step this year, because, Daniel Jones looked like a franchise quarterback. And any Giants fan will tell you that Daniel Jones just needs an offensive line, an offensive coach, and he'll be able to thrive. And now they're right. They got the offensive line. They got the coach. And look what they're doing now. Look what they're freaking doing, man. And that's what we want to see from the New York Jets. And, we're talking about the quarterback. We're talking about the offensive coordinator. But there's another aspect of this offense that's just as important, if not more important, which is the offensive line. Now, the unique thing about this offensive line for the New York Jets, guys, is it's not like we have no talent on this O-line. We have blue chip players. It's just a matter if we can stay healthy. Elijah Vera-Tucker, don't forget, was playing like a damn superstar before he got injured. Mekhi Becton was playing like a star as a rookie. Issue with him, health, obviously. Past 2 years, not playing at all. That's someone you cannot really put a lot of faith into. But he is slimmed down. There's rumors that he's going back to his natural position at left tackle. And, bro, if we can get a healthy Mekhi Becton and a healthy Elijah Vera-Tucker, and then we draft an offensive tackle in the first round, or maybe we trade our first-round pick and then we get another tackle somewhere else, then that's how you really revamp this offensive line, because you got a lot of studs. A lot of studs, man. So stay healthy on offense. Go get a quarterback. Go get an OC. So we're also going to be taking some call-ins in a little bit. I want to get some of your guys' thoughts about where you want to see the Jets go in the offseason at the quarterback position, at the offensive coordinator spot, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. No doubt about it, man. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the chat, man. I really, really do appreciate. So I do, before we get further into it, want to break down the 4 candidates that the New York Jets are hiring. So, first guy I want to talk about, Darrell Bevell, the Dolphins pass game coordinator and quarterback coach. Now, this is an interesting candidate because he has a lot of experience. He's been an offensive coordinator in this league for a while. He was with Robert Saleh in Seattle when they went to the Super Bowl, and he's an experienced guy. Now, I think he's the only one on this list that's been, an offensive coordinator before in terms of experience. And I know that some people look at Darrell Bevell and they think of him with the Jaguars with Urban Meyer. They think of him with the Lions with, Matt Patricia and that Seahawks team that they call the slant at the 1 yard line, right? And I know that a lot of people are going to look at Bevell as that guy in the Super Bowl that called the quick slant at the 1 yard line. And I get all that. Hey, you learn from your mistakes, you move on. And that offense was phenomenal. He called plays in the Super Bowl. And that kind of just, let me just say this. Bevell's not my favorite candidate where if we hire him, I'm jumping for joy. But he's also not a candidate that I think it's the last case scenario. It's not like the worst case scenario if we hire him. I think he's a person that knows how to run an offense. He has been successful in this league before. He's taken an offense to the Super Bowl in the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, we all know that play is always going to live. It's going to kind of shape him as an offensive coordinator, calling that play at the goal line. I get all that. But, what we wanted when we let go of Mike LaFleur is an experienced offensive coordinator that we don't really have to worry about developing, right? We don't have to worry about developing an offensive coordinator. And then that brings you into other guys like Kevin Patullo, who is the Philadelphia Eagles passing game coordinator, Marcus Brady, the Philadelphia offensive consultant, and then Nick Caley, which I don't get, okay? Why are we interviewing the Patriots tight ends coach? Why? Okay? I don't get that one. I really don't. Yeah, they're trying to get a wide net here. I get that. But Nick Caley, thanks for coming in. You have a good agent. Thanks for coming in for the interview. You're not going to be the Jets offensive coordinator, right? Because, first of all, the New England Patriots, they overpaid for 2 tight ends last offseason. Remember that? they've been ass. They've been terrible. Where are they at? Where are they at? So these are the 4 guys so far that the Jets have brought in. And if you're wondering, Richie, where's Greg Olsen? Where's all these other guys? These are the guys that are confirmed to be interviewed with the Jets so far. Okay? So I'm not telling you that, there's obviously going to be more people that they're going to be interviewing and they're going to be coming out in shortly, right? So don't make it seem like these are the only 4 that I'm saying are possible. These are the only 4 that we've interviewed so far. So throughout the week, we're going to probably get a lot of news. I'm sure they're going to interview Greg Olsen. I'm sure they're going to interview a lot of other guys, maybe even Joe Brady. So keep an eye on for that, guys. And I think that, out of these 4, I'm more on Darrell Bevell, in my opinion. But then you want to think about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. They were very successful this season, no doubt about it. And I think that we will be okay. Let's freaking go. All right, enough with this Steelers fan in the chat. You guys couldn't beat us. That's why you missed the playoffs. Don't blame us. Blame yourselves. You should have beat the Jets. You should have beat the Dolphins yourself. Oh, well, we started Mitch Trubisky against you guys. Well, that's still your fault. So don't blame the Jets for not being able to help you make the playoffs. If you beat us back in week number 4, if you beat the Dolphins back in whatever week that was, you would have made the playoffs. So like PC says, you screw yourself. Don't blame us for your misdoings. V-Man, what if they interviewed Scrubs to hire Bevell? What do you mean by that? What if they interviewed Scrubs to hire Bevell? You mean like everybody else they hire are so bad to the point where they have to just get Bevell as a last resort? Is that what you mean, V-Man? I guess, I don't know. I mean, when we let go of Mike LaFleur, I don't think people realize that there's not that many good candidates out there to really get us excited. It's not like we're gonna get someone. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. Appreciate the donation as always, my friend. So before we go further, guys, I want to get your thoughts of the offensive coordinator candidates, but I do want to bring up the proud sponsor and the sportsbook exclusive partner here of Jets Media, which is BetUS. Now, BetUS is a sportsbook that you guys can download and make an account today by clicking the link down below in the description. And on BetUS, you make an account. They give you $50 of free bets when you sign up today without making a deposit at all. Or you can click the link, and if you want to make a deposit, they will match 125% of your deposit up to $2,500. If you guys want to bet on tonight's game, we got the Dallas Cowboys against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I kind of like the Buccaneers tonight. They're at plus 125 money line. I feel like they are the everyone's on the Bucs tonight. No one's betting against Tom Brady, and that's definitely something you got to look out for. And then they already have the lines on next week's matchups. We got the Eagles and the Giants, Jaguars, Chiefs. We got the Bengals and Bills, which is going to be a really, really good game. So if you guys want to download BetUS, you can click that link down below in the description to sign up today. Thank you to BetUS for being the official sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media. Now, let's get right into the offensive coordinator candidates once again. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat, everybody. Out of the 4 people that the Jets have interviewed so far, who's your favorite? Who is your favorite out of these 4 guys? And remember, these are not the final 4. This does not mean that we're not going to interview new people. This is just the 4 that the Jets have interviewed so far. They have a whole week to go through another string of interviews. I'm assuming they're going to interview like 10 people. As they should. They should interview as many people as possible. And another thing about this interview process, guys, that we have to keep in mind, we don't have a quarterback, right? So Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas are telling these coordinators what their plan is at quarterback. We don't know what the plan is, but they can say, hey, we're getting Derek Carr, or hey, we're going all in for Lamar Jackson, or we're going in for this guy, or actually we're going to stick with Zach. I mean, they have their idea made up, at least, of their pursuit of a quarterback, because an offensive coordinator is not going to take this job without knowing who their quarterback is going to be, right? New York Sports with the $2 says we should get rid of Corey D. What you think? Now, Corey Davis is definitely a cut candidate for a lot of reasons. You save a lot of money. The Jets need to free up money if you want to get a quarterback in the building and if you want to extend Quinnen Williams. And, of course, if you want to add more talent to the roster. But the thing about getting rid of Corey is you got to replace him with someone. Do we trust Denzel Mims to step in for Corey Davis's role? Or are we just going to go out there and get a guy like Alan Lazard in free agency? Or are we going to trade for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Or are we going to go into the draft and get somebody else? So I can definitely see us moving on from Corey Davis because he'll free up money. No doubt about it. But if they do want to bring him back, we'll see. Maybe we can restructure his deal as well. Because, you want as many weapons as possible for whoever quarterback we bring in. And I feel like a new offensive coordinator is also going to help out guys like Elijah Moore. It'll help out guys like Denzel Mims. Of course, it'll help out Garrett Wilson, even though he was very productive with Mike LaFleur. But I think Elijah Moore is a player to really look out for in year 3 because I just feel like him and Mike LaFleur were not on the same page. And it's obvious. Elijah Moore requested a trade. He didn't really like the offensive system. It wasn't best suited for him. The Jets were trying to move more to the slot. And the reality was Elijah Moore, Mike LaFleur wasn't on the same page. So you bring in a new offensive coordinator, and obviously we don't know who that is yet. But I think we can all agree that Elijah Moore is a freaking good football player. He is. And I think that we need to make sure that we absolutely get the most out of Elijah Moore this season, man. We need to get Elijah Moore going. He is the key to this offense. No doubt about it. Garrett Wilson is the number 1 guy, undisputed. But I really think Elijah Moore is good enough to be a number 2 receiver next to Garrett Wilson. So that's my thoughts of the wide receiver room. I think we have more issues on the team than wide receiver. Just saying. So now let's go into the quarterback situation. We got this man to talk about. So last night, the Baltimore Ravens played without Lamar Jackson. And I think they would have won the game last night if they had Lamar Jackson for sure, by the way. We got a nice donation from my man real quick. Mutt Wheels. What's good, brother? Richie, where the Dolphins fans at? Hope we get Lamar, man. He's an elite talent. We all know that and he will bring us to the Super Bowl next season. Yes, sir. I don't know where the Dolphins are at, man. That was a crazy game yesterday against the Dolphins and the Bills, no doubt about it. They fought. I'm not going to lie, though. If you're a Dolphins fan, you feel pretty good about that game because first of all, you covered the spread. You lost by 3. And Josh Allen, if you're a Bills fan, I don't know. I'm a little nervous heading into next week. The Bengals didn't look that great last night, but still, I don't know. That is something that's very interesting to me. So I appreciate the $5 donation, my friend, as always. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, man, and the New York Jets. So the only thing that scares me about Lamar Jackson is what we would have to give up to get him. Not only do we have to give him a big-time contract, $200+ million guaranteed money, but you also have to sacrifice like 2 or 3 future first-round picks. And that is scary because if we want to be a sustainable franchise that is building a dynasty style, right? I don't want to use the word dynasty, more just building a sustainable winner year in and year out. You got to be able to draft well, and you can't draft well if you don't have draft picks. You can't draft good quality players if you don't have first round picks. But at the end of the day, if you get a quarterback, that is it. And the team is so freaking good around the quarterback as it is. We already have all the pieces on defense. All we need is to patch up the offensive line. I trust the playmakers on wide receiver. I trust the running backs. I trust the tight ends. We just need a quarterback and an offensive line. So then that makes you wonder, like, okay, let's go all in. Let's bring in Lamar Jackson. Let's sacrifice the draft capital. Let's give him the money. My point is, it's a high risk, high reward. You want to take a big time swing? Go for it. So you're giving Lamar Jackson $200+ million of guarantee, and you're giving up a lot of draft capital. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't do that, but I'm just bringing it up. With that being said, go get me Lamar freaking Jackson. Go get me him. I will be the last person to be complaining if the Jets acquire Lamar Jackson. I have been defending Lamar Jackson throughout his entire career in Baltimore. Because remember when he was really becoming like the MVP and there was a lot of debate like, oh, he's not even a quarterback, he's a running back and blah, blah, blah. I would always defend him like, yo, Lamar's a stud. Like, why are everyone like hating on him, bro? I was always defending him. I always loved his game. And, bro, the Jets are in an interesting position as well where we have a lot of young talent on the team. So it's not like if we give up a lot of draft picks, it's okay because we have players on the team already like Garrett Wilson, like Breece Hall, right? Like Elijah Moore. And on the defense, like Sauce, like Jermaine, like Quinnen. We got young studs on the team, so it's not like we're not already youthfully talented. So you sacrifice the draft picks, you go get Lamar Jackson, who's a former MVP, by the way, and you freaking go win. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a difference maker. He is a clutch quarterback. You know, he's a different style of quarterback that we've ever been used to as a Jets fan. He is, you know, one of the best, if not the best, mobile dual threat quarterbacks ever. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game in terms of mobility, in terms of being a threat on the ground. Over 1,000 yards rushing. Can you imagine a read option with him and Breece Hall? What? That doesn't make sense. Give me read options with Breece Hall and Lamar Jackson. Because that's another thing, man. If we're bringing in an offensive coordinator, that offensive coordinator needs to be able to open up Lamar Jackson's game. Adapt the playbook to Lamar Jackson if he is a Jet. And then you pair up Lamar Jackson with Garrett Wilson. And I know some people are like, well, Lamar Jackson's not really a really pass-heavy quarterback. Is that going to help out Garrett Wilson? Bro, Lamar Jackson throws bombs. Like, he can throw the ball. Like, I don't understand that narrative that Lamar can't throw and it won't help out our receivers. Lamar never had, like, good playmakers around him besides quality running backs. J.K. Dobbins is a good running back. Gus Edwards is quality. You know, Mike Davis, whatever. They had good running backs. And he has an elite tight end in Mark Andrews. But the wide receivers around Lamar Jackson, trash all the time. Rashad Bateman, Hollywood Brown at one point. Who else, right? He never had quality. So you bring in Garrett Wilson, who we just saw as a rookie, put up 1,100 yards with Mike White, Joe Flacco, and Zach Wilson, who were all pretty bad this year. What do you think he can do with Lamar freaking Jackson? And Elijah Moore next to him. Bro, yes. Lamar's never had those type of receivers to throw the ball to, man. Never. So I would 110% be on Lamar Jackson, but I also want to make sure that Jets fans need to understand this. Do not get your hopes up for Lamar, okay? That is a pipe dream. This is something that I think is the best case scenario. It's something that we can all dream on, but don't get your hopes up for it because it's very unlikely. Because the Baltimore Ravens, if you think of it from their perspective, if they move off of Lamar, what's their plan? They're going to go into next season with Huntley? Are they going to draft a quarterback this year? Are they going to get a new guy in free agency? Like, where are they going to go? So I think if I'm the Ravens, and obviously we have no idea, they can easily franchise tag him and say, sorry, well, you're our quarterback this year. We're not trading you. But then Lamar can hold out and he can do it, really try to push his buttons, get him out of there. Who knows? But it's not, I don't think it's as likely as people think for the Jets to acquire Lamar Jackson, but it is a possibility, which is why we're bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. And last night, I think it showed how important Lamar is to that Ravens team, man. They would have won the game last night with Lamar Jackson. Tell me they wouldn't. Huntley played decent for them. He played good. Now bring me Lamar. Now let's talk about the other quarterback who is not as talented as Lamar Jackson, but he is more durable than Lamar Jackson. He's a little more reliable in terms of availability, and he's a completely different style of a quarterback, and that's Derek Carr. Derek Carr brings you a completely different element. He's not a dual threat. He's not a playmaker. What he brings to the table is he's clutch in the fourth quarter. Derek Carr leads the NFL since he entered the league in fourth quarter comebacks since 2014. Derek Carr also is just a stationary, veteran quarterback that can read a defense properly, get the ball in the playmaker's hands, throw the ball up to the point where the wide receivers can go up there and make some plays. And, he could put up some freaking numbers. He can move an offense. He can get into the end zone. He's done it before. Now, is Derek Carr a perfect quarterback? Absolutely not. Every quarterback that we're going to be talking about for the Jets to acquire, they all have their flaws. There's no perfect quarterback available today. There's no Patrick Mahomes available. There's no Josh Allen available. I mean, there isn't. Lamar Jackson, he's available, but the risk that comes with that is what we have to give up for him and his durability concerns. Derek Carr, he's never won a playoff game. He's not as good in cold weather. Those are the things you got to bring up for Derek Carr. But then you also have to realize, well, Derek Carr has never had a good defense to back him up with the Raiders like the Jets have with the top 5 quality defense under Robert Saleh. So I would love Derek Carr. Give me Derek Carr or Lamar Jackson. Give me one of those two guys, and let's freaking go, okay? If we don't get those two guys, I'll be disappointed unless we get A-Rod maybe. Because I don't want to settle for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want to settle for Gardner Minshew. I can't believe people are even bringing that name up as our starting quarterback next year. No, thank you. He's a backup for a reason. Very good backup, by the way. Gardner Minshew, no thank you. I do not want you as my starting quarterback. Give me a guy like Derek Carr, who's been a starting quarterback for 8+ seasons, who's been to multiple Pro Bowls, who is a top 10, top 12 quarterback in this league. Now, if I had to make my list, it's Lamar Jackson first, Derek Carr second. But if we do get Derek Carr, I'm not complaining. Because another plus about Derek Carr, you don't have to give up as much draft capital, and he's also cheaper. So those are the things you got to balance with it. You're going Lamar Jackson, you got a way more high reward in there with the MVP talent, with the superstar ability, but he also comes with durability concerns and all those other things. But Derek Carr, imagine what he can do with Garrett Wilson. We saw him and Devontae Adams this past year. And I'm not saying Garrett Wilson's Devontae Adams level yet, but I think we can all agree that Garrett Wilson has that ability in him. He has what it takes to get high volume. And the one thing about Derek Carr that I've noticed that he is a high volume quarterback that likes to throw the ball to the same receiver a lot. He loved force-feeding the ball to Darren Waller. He loves force-feeding the ball to Hunter Renfrow, to Devontae Adams. He spreads the ball around. I'm not saying he's just a one-read quarterback, but if he has an elite-level talent, he's going to feed him. And how awesome would that be for Garrett Wilson to get 13, 14 targets a game? It also comes down to Derek Carr having an offensive line because he's not mobile. He can move. He can escape. He's not a statue. But you got to protect for him because Derek Carr is not going to be able to put up the numbers that we want him to. He's not going to be able to win football games the way we want him to without him being protected consistently, right? So I'm all in on Derek Carr as well. I think that these are the two likely scenarios, Lamar Jackson and Derek Carr. Now, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat of who you'd want. I'm going to make a poll right now because I want to hear what the poll's got to say. What do the poll says? Who do you want? All right, let me see it. Lamar Jackson or Derek Carr? All right, I'm asking you guys, let the people speak. Let's see. So we have 35 votes, 58% Derek Carr so far. Derek Carr is in the lead. So people are leaning towards Derek Carr so far. I find that very interesting. Guys, I just put a poll in the chat, so everyone vote. I want to hear what you guys think. So everyone's leaning towards Derek Carr. Uh-oh. Am I lagging? Is your boy lagging? Hold on, guys. Yo. All right. We're cutting to a wide shot because I was starting to lag a little bit. Starting to lag just a little bit. It's all good. So it seems like the what the chat's saying. Let's get back to it. My apologies for the technical difficulties, guys. You know the tech nowadays. So 52% of you guys are still saying Derek Carr. I find that interesting. All right, let's go back to this shot. See if I'm still going to lag. Testing. Seems like we're A-okay. Fire. We're good. All right, so it is split down the middle, but Derek Carr is still leading. Guys, if you're just tuning in, do me a gigantic favor. Hit that like button. We got 48 likes with 180 people watching. Let's get to 100 likes, guys, if you're joining today's show. That's brought to you by BetUS, the official sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media. Let's go, baby. All right, split down the middle, 50-50. Really interesting. I find this very interesting. Someone said it looks like Mike LaFleur is going to be the new offensive coordinator for the Rams. That's interesting. Well, he's not going to be calling plays because Sean McVay is the play caller. Watch him go to the Rams, and then all of a sudden he becomes a head coach somewhere. That'll be hilarious. So it seems like a lot of people are weighing towards the Derek Carr. Now, for the new people tuning into the chat, I want to give you guys an update on the offensive coordinators that the Jets have been interviewing so far. Here's a list of 4 that are confirmed to be with the Jets. Now, these are not the final 4, by the way. This is not just the final 4. There are potential more others coming. Lamar, based on his age, let's retire his number. All right, Craig. Lamar likes Craig likes Lamar because he's young. He's in the prime. Let's get him, and then let's retire number 8. Is Elijah Moore going to give up his number, though, for Lamar? I think he'd have to, right? Appreciate the donation, Craig. So the poll is split 50-50, which is really interesting. Very interesting. What will Carr cost? This is a good question. Is this from a Raider fan? Seems like it. Raider. Well, it depends on if the Jets trade for Derek Carr or the Raiders eventually have to just cut him. And if we have to trade for him, I think it would be like maybe a 3rd and a 5th round pick, maybe a 2nd and a 4th. Definitely not a 1st, because the Raiders kind of don't have a lot of leverage in the trade talks because they need to cut him before February 15th. Otherwise, his contract becomes on their books. So, yeah. All right. So you guys have spoke, and it seems like it's split down the middle. So now we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A, guys, where you guys can come on here and we can negotiate and talk about your thoughts of what the Jets should be doing in the offseason. Is it Lamar Jackson? Is it Derek Carr? Who are the offensive coordinators that you guys want to bring in? Love to hear what you guys have to say, man. So let's start it. All in today. click the link in the chat. We're going to pin this, and then we can get you guys coming in. Every Monday, I'm going to want to try to do some call-ins because I usually do call-ins throughout the season after the games, and I thought to keep up the same trend. Even though it's the off season, I'm sure you guys still want to call in, talk some ball, who you guys want to get. So I want to keep up that momentum. So we're going to start up the call-ins in just a little bit. Also, guys, if you're just tuning in, we have 69 likes. Nice. Let's get the 100, though. 100 freaking likes. Let's see it happening. Let's see that 100. Let's see that 100 likes. Boom. So this offseason is going to be one hell of an offseason for a lot of different reasons. I think that the Jets are positioned themselves in a spot where they can go all in for a quarterback because you heard what Woody Johnson said. What did Woody Johnson say? That they are a quarterback away and they're going to do everything in their power to bring in a quarterback. Everything in their power. Now, if you have the owner speaking like that, that tells me that they're going to do everything to go all in for a quarterback. And that is Lamar or Derek Carr. If it's anything less than that, I think that's a big disappointment, bro. I think it's a big disappointment. I mean, you know what sucks about this, guys? You know what would be the best case scenario if Zach Wilson was just our guy? But guess what? He's not. And he stunk. Stunk. It would be great if Zach Wilson panned out and he was our like young prodigy, top 10 quarterback. But there's no reason to talk about that because that's what ifs, and that's not the case. It's not the reality that we're living in, guys. Wyatt, Derek will be a good mentor for Zach. Yeah, I think so. I think Derek Carr would be a good mentor for Zach, but I also think Derek Carr, the last thing he's coming here to do is to help develop Zach. He's more coming here to win, right? He's coming here to win today. He's coming here to win right now. He's not coming here to develop Zach, if that makes any sense, right? I'm sure he'd be helping Zach in the quarterback room, and Zach will be asking some questions. But, you know, the last thing that Derek Carr's priority will be is to help develop Zach, if that makes sense. But we do got a poll. Lamar Jackson has taken the lead in the poll, 52% weighing in Lamar Jackson. So definitely leaning towards Lamar, it seems. Started off Derek Carr, by the way. All right, we're going to get to the first caller of the show. We got Indy Jets. What's up, my friend?
What's going on, Richie? I tell you, Jake had a call in today, and I tell you, I think I made him mad by going anti-Lamar.
Oh, yeah? Let's hear it.
I don't think Lamar is a team player. He had every opportunity to be there, but on the sidelines. And Jake made the excuse that, well, they don't allow injured players to travel. All right. And of course, I didn't know this at the time, so I did some research. But he traveled to the Pittsburgh game back in December 11th, injured. And so they do allow him to travel. He made the choice to not be around his teammates. Now, to me, what do you think the New York media, because you're in tune with the New York media, probably even more so than us fans. How do you think the New York media would have treated Lamar Jackson if the New York Jets were in the playoffs and he chose not to show up and support his team?
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about the Jets were in the same exact scenario where we drafted Lamar Jackson, he was a stud for us. We haven't signed him yet, right? And it's like that, the whole fallout thing. Hypothetical, then yeah, the media will eat him alive, especially when it comes to the whole holding out situation. But I also
do you want that kind of player on our team now?
I also feel like, you know, there's a lot to this whole situation with the Ravens, in my opinion, that we're just not aware of. It feels very, very intriguing. Like you hear John Harbaugh speaking to the media last night during the game. That was a little interesting. You hear somebody else after the game say, J.K. Dobbins, I believe, said we would have won if Lamar was playing. Like it feels like the team knew that Lamar was able to go, but he didn't go. It was really, this is a really sticky situation for me with the whole Lamar and Ravens relationship.
And so that's my question. Do you want that type of player who, even like you said, may be questionable, that even the players believe he could play, and if nothing else, be on the sidelines and say, man, I'm here to fight for you, with you guys.
Yeah.
Do you believe, is that the kind of player you want?
I mean, listen, I think today's league is very different than what it used to be in terms of how money is such a deciding factor for these players, where they don't feel like they're getting the money that they deserve, or the organization is not putting value into that person for all the stuff that they sacrifice for. Like, I feel like Lamar just doesn't feel like he's being appreciated and loved enough from that organization, based on him not getting a contract extension after getting an MVP and after doing all the things that he's done for them. So, to answer your question, I feel like you never know if he does get his money elsewhere, that this cannot be an issue at all. I think it's really the contract situation that's really causing this.
Okay, but the contract situation, was it not Lamar that put the contract situation on hold? Did he not say, we start the season and we'll no longer have contract negotiations during the season? I mean, isn't that what he said at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, he wanted to bet on himself this season.
Okay, so this doesn't fall. You can't blame Baltimore when he's the one that stopped the negotiations.
Yeah, and the also thing is that we don't know is, like, is he, like, he could 100% just be injured and he just can't be playing. And that's
even if he is,
us as fans, we can't even speculate.
If we go with that, then why wasn't he there on the sidelines yesterday?
Yeah, that I don't know. If you can't travel because of an injury, Tua wasn't at the game yesterday either because of his injury. So it seems like these injured quarterbacks and injured players don't travel sometimes.
Well, I get that. I would have believed that if he hadn't traveled with them injured before. So after that, I don't believe that scenario. I think Tua might be a little bit different circumstance, but I think if Lamar had already traveled with the team injured, then why would you not travel with the team to a playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, all things that you need to consider when you're trading for a player, especially with the assets you'll have to sacrifice to bring in. And I'm sure that the entire organization, for the Jets' sake of things, are talking about these things and the same conversation that we're having. And these are the tough talks that it takes to make these decisions. So, it's going to be interesting. Are you more on Derek Carr?
Oh, absolutely. I was 50-50 on Lamar until yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So that kind of sold it for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was up in the air. Lamar might be a second choice, but if you can't support your teammates, and his tweet about describing his injury and all that, and upsetting the coach, I think that he's just trying to justify, instead of coming out and saying, I'm not playing because there's no contract, because that's a bad look for him in general if he come out and say that. So he had to justify his injury, but he didn't justify supporting his team. He's still being paid for right now.
Yeah, and you heard all of his teammates say, like, we needed him, we would have won with him. So it really is a sticky situation that you got to be able to get into. So I appreciate the call. These are conversations that us as Jets fans need to have, because, it's every single quarterback that we're going to be discussing throughout the offseason comes with the pros and cons. And even if it's a superstar like Lamar, there's a lot of risk involved. And like you're bringing it up, for sure.
All right. Thanks, Richie.
Appreciate you, my man. All right. That's Indiana Jets. You guys know him well. He's always over here. We appreciate that call. We have Julio with the $5. Thank you, Julio. We're a good offensive line away. No QB succeeds behind this line. You are correct. Ding, ding, ding. Julio is onto something. We need an offensive coordinator. We need a quarterback. But the third piece that I think is just as important, if not more important, is the offensive line. And the one thing about the offensive line that I think Jets fans need to remind themselves are, we do have some blue chip players on this offensive line. And the only thing that's going to hold that back is injuries. I have so much confidence in Elijah Vera Tucker to be our superstar if he stays healthy. And luckily, the injury that he did have in the torn tricep, that is very easily to repair and come back from and be at 100%. It's not like a lower half injury. Because if AVT tore something in his knee or something, or his ankle or foot, that would have been more concerning. The fact that it was a torn tricep, there's a lot of offensive linemen that had an injury like that and came back to the same shape. So that's a good sign. Mekhi Becton. And I just feel like he is going to be the most interesting player to follow in the offseason heading into training camp in terms of him being able to stay healthy, him being able to stay in shape. Because I think Mekhi Becton is the X factor for the offensive line. Because people need to realize how freaking good Mekhi Becton was as a rookie. And I'm not saying that we should put all our faith and say, yep, Mekhi's our left tackle and he is going to play this season. That's not what I'm saying because he has not proven. Mekhi has not proven to be able to stay healthy yet. But if he is healthy, he is our starting tackle this year. And he is going to be a dog. Because what I saw from Mekhi as a rookie was a sensational star that, by the way, played 13 games. And the only reason why Mekhi has been having injury concerns is he's had a weight issue. And you see what he looked like now? He lost 20 pounds. He's a little skinnier. He's trying to lose even more weight. And when you lose weight like that and you still have that body mass and that body bone structure that he has, that's the blue chip piece that I'm talking about. You got Mekhi, ABT. And then if we keep our first round pick, you can draft like a Johnson out of, with that 13th spot. And then you got 3 studs through the draft. And then you fill it out in free agency. You still got Laken Tomlinson, who's definitely disappointment. You might have to get a new center if McGovern walks or you bring him back. So offensive line definitely needs to be the priority. No doubt about it. And I'm not saying we have to count on Becton. He's a wild card, but he's that player, man, where if he is healthy, it's going to make this offensive line so much freaking better, man. Julio with another $2 says, don't think Lamar has the thick skin to play here. Yeah, I mean, you definitely need some thick skin to play in New York. Daniel Jones has thick skin. That's something he's proven because he's in year 5. He hasn't been that good, and he's finally breaking out. I feel like Lamar Jackson, he's been in the spotlight since, his even high school. I feel like Lamar would be able to handle it. He has that persona where, like, he is a big figure. He's got a big platform. He has that spark to him. I feel like he's used to, even though Baltimore is not like the biggest market in the world, but I do feel like Lamar knows what it's like to be talked about a lot, and I feel like he'd be able to handle the New York media. That's just my thoughts. Could be wrong, though. Speed Doctor with the $5. Thank you, my friend. When you miss on a quarterback in the draft, it causes you to have to then trade 3 first-round picks to get one like Lamar. We cannot have it both ways. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. The only reason why we are talking about this is because can't forget that the Jets literally whiffed on Zach Wilson. And don't forget Sam Darnold. And don't forget all the other quarterbacks we've drafted the past decade. We can't draft a quarterback for ourselves, and that is the biggest disappointment so far, right? That's what we want. We want to draft our own quarterback, win with him on a rookie deal, but the reality is it's just not the case right now. The Jets have to backtrack and they have to act fast. And the owners are giving the Johnsons are giving the Jets the okay, say go all in, okay? You have to go all in because guess what, Douglas and Saleh, your jobs are on the line if you don't start winning. Like, Douglas has done a great job, in my opinion, in terms of personnel, in terms of acquiring depth, in terms of adding talent to the roster. But it needs to start translating to wins, and you're not going to be able to win football games without a consistent quarterback playing a full season at a high level, average level at least. Julio with another donation. Thank you, my friend. This one, a gold donation, $10. Thank you so much, Julio. I appreciate that. Jackson and Garoppolo have benefited being a part of a stable organization. The Jets are not a stable organization. 7 coaches and 18 QBs since 2000 is not stable. You are correct. We are not stable, and that's what we are trying to become. Under Joe Douglas, we are trying to be a stable organization with Douglas and Saleh. I know that Saleh has not won everybody over as our coach for the future. Woo! Bless you. Thank you. But the reality is Robert Saleh has to prove himself this season by making the playoffs. And I don't think anybody can look at Saleh and look at him and say, yeah, you're a definite coach for the next decade plus. You deserve a contract extension. No. Saleh needs to prove himself 110%. But at the same time, I feel like the Jets has a chance to develop a stability here if we can get the right quarterback in the building. But you're right, Julio. We do not have stability, and it's unfortunate. But I'm hopeful that we'll be able to develop that with our new quarterback this offseason. Please. Please, please, please. So, Julio, I appreciate that. Another donation from Julio. Keep up the good work. Hit the like. Thank you, my friend. Guys, everyone listen to Julio. We have great donations from Julio, and he reminds you guys to simply hit the like button. We have 86 likes with over 200 people watching. If you guys can do me a favor, let's get to 100 likes. We appreciate that. Boom, boom, boom. Hit the like button. Thank you, Julio. We have a Baltimore Ravens fan tuning in. Y'all are right. Don't bother getting a QB if you don't have an O-line. Waste your season away with Zach. Yeah, I mean, we don't really – our offensive line is completely in shambles with injuries, and that's where it starts with our O-line. We need to stay healthy. So, let's get back to the other board. And again, guys, we have a live call-in open. So if you want to join in, you click the link at the top of the chat to get your thoughts. But look how beautiful Lamar just looks in a Jets uniform, bro. Let's see that. Let's freaking see Lamar. Like, is that too much to ask for, bro? That's all I want. One day. We got our next caller. We got Will tuning in from the Whip. What up, Will? Can you hear me, man? Yo, Will, you there?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's good, my man? How you doing?
Pretty good. I just wanted to talk about Lamar and Carr. I really think both are great additions. But I really think if we have Lamar, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, BT, and a healthy Becton, we have one of the healthiest and best offenses in the NFL.
I agree.
I don't see. I mean, I get Carr, but that is a lifetime offense, and I don't even know if we can ever have, that's Lamar is one in a lifetime quarterback. That's not. Carr is a great top 15. There's a big difference.
No doubt.
And that's what I have to say.
No, you're 100% right, Will. I appreciate the call. And I think that Lamar Jackson, he brings you that superstar element. And you talk about the stars that we already have on the offense with Brees Hall, with Garrett Wilson. Don't forget about AVT and Becton if they're healthy. Like, don't forget about Elijah Moore, who I think is a very slept-on player on this team who has not been utilized properly. Like, Lamar Jackson.
I just want to say, in our division with Josh Allen, you want to talk about a quarterback that will get passed in that division? That's Lamar Jackson.
Will, I couldn't agree more, man.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, man.
No problem, Will. Have a good rest of your day. Let's go, Jets.
Have a great one.
Yeah, Will brings up a great point. Like, you talk about the players we already have on the offense. Because don't forget, guys, we got studs on this offense. Now, unfortunately, the studs haven't been able to stay healthy, besides Garrett Wilson. But we got AVT. We got Brees Hall. And don't forget how freaking good Brees Hall is, guys. Oh, my God, it's so sad. It's so sad to think about Brees Hall just because of his injury. But, like, Lamar Jackson is a top 10, top 5 quarterback when healthy. And I will argue about that. And, oh, God. Because I'm trying to ground myself, guys. I know Lamar's so unlikely, and I don't want all of us get our hopes up because it really, really is unlikely. But at the same time, man, you never know. You never know. We heard a report from Connor Hughes of SNY. If Lamar Jackson does become available in the trade market, the New York Jets will be first in line to go and get him. All right, we're going to get to the next caller. We got Naft in the house.
What's up,
brother?
Rich?
How you been, man?
How's it going? How are you?
I'm all right, my friend.
Long time no speak, huh? Long season, a lot of hype, a lot of heartbreaks.
A lot of heartbreaks. That's for sure.
I saw your video the other day about Mike LaFleur. Thank God he's out. We need. Listen, it's this year or never. It's next year or never. No, just
absolutely,
kidding.
Man.
But
offensive coordinator.
Exactly. So the thing is, I think we should first see who the offensive coordinator is, and then only then we should start talking about what kind of quarterback is going to be the right fit for the offensive coordinator. I think, Lamar. I'm not so big on Derek Carr. He has no playoff experience. One game, two. How many games did he play? One.
He has no playoff wins.
No,
that's all.
No, he does. Last year he did. Then he lost.
Well, no playoff win. I mean,
No playoff win, exactly. So do we want a quarterback that never won in the playoffs, that never has really experience and that's been in the league for 10 years? Like, is he elite? Is he mediocre? I wouldn't put money on Carr. I wouldn't put money on Carr.
Just
Maybe
with
Jimmy
that, you
G.
just got to think about, the Raiders around Carr. Like he never had a defense like the Jets have
Exactly.
right now. And like, I feel like that's a big reason for Derek Carr as a team success. Like it is a team sport. And as good as the quarterback position has to be, you have to be a good defense around the quarterback. And the Raiders have just been a bottom feeder defense throughout his entire career with the Raiders. So if you think about bringing Carr here with the numbers he's been putting up with the Raiders and put that up with the Jets with our top 5, top 10 defense, I think that, we kind of look at this team this past season, Nath, and I think we both agree we were an average quarterback away from being in the playoffs.
For sure.
Average. Like we just needed to be average, and that's what Derek Carr brings you. He's like an average to above average level.
But again, it brings you back to my question to the thing. Let's say we get Derek Carr, and what you say he's an average quarterback. So we get to the wild card, and we want to. You understand? We want to continue. We don't want to just get to the wild card. We don't want to be one and done. We want it all. I think in today's NFL, you need a quarterback that can run, like a Lamar kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
Is Lamar going to be free? The Ravens would be crazy to give him up, but you never know.
Yeah, I'd prefer Lamar Jackson over Derek Carr personally, no doubt.
For sure.
Because,
but I guess, yeah. What are you saying? What do you say?
Just because Derek Carr is limited a little bit. And like
Lamar
Jackson is just.
He's also old.
Yeah, he's old, but I will say, at early 30s is kind of like, I would say, like the prime for a veteran quarterback. We've seen Aaron Rodgers, like that's been like his, like Rodgers is 38 now. And I feel like the past 5 to 6 years of Aaron Rodgers' career were like his MVP style years. And that was when he was low 30s. So I feel like Derek Carr is entering that like prime veteran, like all-in Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Not saying he is one, but I also think there could be more to Derek Carr's game that we haven't seen. I feel like he has the arm, he has the processing, he has the poise, he has the clutch, and that's another thing, Naft. He leads the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks since he entered the league. So he has the clutch gene, and that's true.
That's something we're praying for. We're just praying for. I'm praying for the past forever how long, since Fitzpatrick,
Oh my gosh.
I've been praying for just a normal, just throw the ball. Just throw the ball. Just be consistent. Exactly. We got no one. It's just like every damn time we're on offense, I'm like, I get like a heart attack. I was like, please don't throw a pick. Please don't throw. I don't want to live that way. I just want to be.
Every time you see the ball get thrown out of the hands, you just have a pit in your stomach, and I'm sick of that. I want confidence. Out of my quarterback.
I have one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. But it's not about the Jets. What do you think's after the Giants win last night or yesterday? What do you think? Who do you think's? Do you think the Niners have a clear path to the Super Bowl right now?
So that was a great game. First of all, the Niners are going to be playing the winner of the Buccaneers and Cowboys tonight.
Exactly.
And then the Eagles and Giants, that's going to be an interesting game because division rival and stuff. And I think the 49ers are definitely favorites to come out of the NFC. And I think that the Niners are probably going to take care of either the Bucs or the Cowboys. They're going to be the favorites. And Brock Purdy, it just looks so freaking good in that with Shanahan, with all the talent around him. I think the Niners are the favorites to come out of the NFC. We can't sleep on the Eagles just because we haven't seen them play this past week. And they have been kind of going downhill from there on. But I like the Niners a lot because like they're like the most complete team in my opinion. And the defense is like, keep in mind this, guys, the 49ers defense, I kind of want to see our Jets defense turn into their defense next season because the defense that we saw from the Jets this season took that next step. But I feel like the next level to the Jets defense is what the Niners are doing, which is ripping the ball away, takeaways, strip sacks, interceptions. Like that's where this Jets team defense needs to take the next step, and I think they will do that.
Exactly. All right, Mr. So I guess we'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
We will, man. Well, I appreciate the call, man, and I hope all's well with you at home, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, no problem.
All right,
I'll call in.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call in, my friend. So yeah, the playoffs has been pretty interesting, man. I do want to my thought process on the Niners. What do you guys think about that? Am I getting a little over the top? Because we know that our defense is from the Niners system with Robert Saleh. And we saw our defense the first year under Saleh be trash. And then the second year under Saleh be great. Now, I think we can all agree that there's still another level to our defense that we can reach. Sauce Gardner in year 2. What is that going to look like? DJ Reed in year 2 with the system. Michael Carter the second. Adding new pieces. Quinnen Williams. Jermaine Johnson getting another year with Michael Clemens. John Franklin. All those boys coming back and maybe adding some more. I think the next step to the defense is what the Niners are doing today, which is turnovers. Strip sacks. We need to find our Nick Bosa somehow, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Hopefully Jermaine Johnson can turn into that. But I think our defense could turn into something special. The defense was very good, but I think our defense has another level to tap into. And then it also comes down to our offense being able to put up points and all those things. No doubt. No doubt about it. Is this true? Now, I'm not going to confirm this. What's the source here? Let's go check Twitter. Because this is definitely possible. What's the source here? One college coach I'm hearing has gathered NFL offensive coordinator interest from Team Cycle. Georgia, Todd Monken has had successful. All right, so Jeremy Fowler tweeted saying that one college coach I'm hearing has garnered NFL offensive coordinator interest. So he hasn't said the Jets, but that's what Jeremy Fowler said. So that's interesting. I would love the Jets to interview him. No doubt about it. Mekhi Becton is quote tweeting about Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he is his teammate in college. Love to see that. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's an official. I don't see the Jets interviewing him yet. How would you guys feel about Todd Monken? Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of stuff to keep in mind here when it comes to this Jets offseason, man, and who we're going to bring in. All right. We're going to get into the next caller. We got Charles tuning in.
Hey, Richie, what's going on, man?
What's up, Charles?
Yeah, last week was crazy. Did you hear about the Chargers and Jaguars game? I still can't get over how much the Chargers choked in that game. I mean, they were up by 27 points. My dad and I are starting to think that Brandon Staley's a horrible coach.
Yeah, a lot of people think that he should be fired.
I don't even know why they don't even attempt to run the football. I mean, you got good backs.
Yeah. His defense he's a defensive mind, and he gave up all the bad stuff.
But I'm happy for Trevor Lawrence. You know, he gets his first playoff dub and goes on to play Kansas City.
Yeah, I know. Trevor Lawrence, it's really hard to hate him. It's like us as Jets fans, we're like just living in a jealous mindset about Lawrence, and you're looking at him, you're like, but then it's like, how do you hate this guy, man? He's so cool.
I don't hate Trevor Lawrence at all. I never hated him. I mean, look, a lot of us Jet fans wanted Zach Wilson, and unfortunately, the kid's too raw to be a good quarterback right now. But anyway, listen, man, did you watch the Giant game too? The Giants played a hell of a game on Sunday.
Yeah, of course, man. They look like an absolute stud of a team under Brian Daboll. Daniel Jones looks like a beast.
Saquon Barkley ran the ball pretty well too. How about that guy Isaiah Hodgins, man? He looks like a good receiver.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun playoff things that happen, man. The Giants are looking great. The Bills looking okay, and
Josh Allen. The Bills committed like 4 turnovers, like a couple of defensive touchdowns for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree, man. But it is
Now,
what it
as
is
for
with
the
this.
quarterback who I want Derek Carr because of his durability, because of his leadership. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson isn't a leader. It's just that Derek Carr has more experience being a leader. He has more durability. His durability is pretty damn good. And
Yeah.
he's a classy guy. You know, you don't hear him badmouth anybody. He's a classy dude. He's a devout Christian, which I have a lot of respect for. His brother Dave, a lot of people forgot that his brother David Carr used to back up Eli Manning for a few years in New York, and he handled the media quite well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you'd have to put into consideration for Derek Carr, and we're going to be talking about that a lot on this stream and, of course, in the future. So, Charles, I appreciate the call, my friend. I appreciate you. I'll see you next week, next Monday, I'm sure.
Same here, my friend. Take care.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate the call, my friend. Yeah, man. I mean, Charles is a Derek Carr guy. There's a lot of people in the chat that are Derek Carr guys. We have the poll up. 264 votes on the poll. 56% is Lamar Jackson, which I find very interesting. 56% Lamar, 44% Derek Carr. So I think Lamar Jackson gets the majority of the votes, and very interesting, man. Very interesting stuff. So again, guys, we have a lot of fun stuff to look forward to this week. We're going to hear more news about who the Jets are bringing in for the offensive coordinator search. If you guys haven't seen the up-to-date list, here it is. Give me 1 second. Now, we just heard some news that Todd Monken is gaining some interest as the NFL coordinator somewhere. We have not heard a confirmation that he's being interviewed by the Jets just yet. But here are the 4 guys that the Jets are interviewing so far. We got Darrell Bevell, we got Kevin Patullo, we got Marcus Brady, and Nick Caley. So these are 4 guys to keep in mind. And these are not the final 4. And that's what I want to make sure people realize, that this does not mean that these are the final 4 that the New York Jets are interviewing for sure. And I'm waiting for any other updates about who will be bringing in as a potential coordinator. And when we get those news, I'll be going live to break it down with you guys. Just want to say, man, thank you for everybody tuning into the show, showing the love, hitting the thumbs up button, man. We appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the shows at all times. It's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of big-time offseason planned. So hit that like button if you're not already, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We're probably going to wrap things up in just a little bit. Wanted to go live. I also want to continue the Monday call-in shows and make this like a thing. You know, I did this throughout the season. Every Monday, I had you guys come on and call in, and I want to keep this once a week on Mondays. So keep in mind, Richie, on Mondays, you get to call in and speak your truth. And I also want to see more of you guys come on. There's like over 200 people watching, and there's only like, I see the same familiar faces at all times, and I got nothing wrong with those familiar faces. I love those guys, but I also want to see some new people come on. Let's talk some Jets. No reason to be nervous. This is a friendly environment, baby. So that's it for the stream, guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Let's go freaking Jets. I love you guys. We got a big time offseason ahead of ourselves with a lot of fun things planned, and let's go, baby. I'll catch you guys in my next live stream, and I appreciate all the support. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Oh, we got Vinny and the Jets wanted to tune in. My bad, Vinny. He wanted to tune in. Vinny, I got you next time, next week, all right? I didn't know that you wanted to see get called in. You came in at the end. Vinny, you're coming in next week first, okay? I better see you first in line. But with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys. And that wraps up the stream. Let's go, Jets. Big offseason coming. We're getting big time quarterback, big time OC. Let's go, Knicks, of course. Big time Knicks game at 3 o'clock. You already know. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.